Hey, welcome back to Garden Rose and welcome to week 2 of the Pantry Challenge. This week is a little bit more challenging because it's a full week. Let's see. I started this on Wednesday last week. I technically started on the 3rd. So that felt okay because it was like, okay, I have 3 weekdays to figure out and then the weekend. Where now I'm thinking ahead of like the whole week and the weekend, and it feels a little bit more intimidating, but it's okay. We have food, we have things. I just have to be creative and think about how they go together and how I can do this together. So we'll see what happens, what the week brings. Before we dive into this week's meals, I just want to say thank you to everybody who has found me over this past couple of videos, this past week. Everyone who's subscribed and everyone who's left a comment. The comments have been so inspiring to me. There have been a lot of ideas shared for what I can do and different ways to think about grocery shopping after this, and a lot of inspiration coming my way, and I am absorbing it like a sponge. I'm taking it all in. I'm so appreciative of all of you guys leaving comments, and I'm also just so tickled at everyone that's finding these videos and finding my channel. I had a little bit of a slower start and it seems like things are kind of picking up a little bit now. So it's really cool to see everyone who's joining me on this journey and kind of new to the Pantry Challenge too. I feel like I have some friends out there that are supporting me and right alongside with me doing this. So that's definitely a comforting feeling and I'm very grateful for that. I hope you'll stay tuned and see what the rest of this year brings with the garden and preserving all of those goodies and hopefully stocking this pantry back up a little bit. So thanks for being here. Another note I wanted to make briefly, and I guess it's more of an update, is that I didn't go to the grocery store the first week, and so far I haven't this week. I do need to though. But it's not that bad. You see my water dispenser, which also doubles as my hamper for my dirty kitchen towels. Ignore that. My water dispenser, the Culligan, I have those big 5-gallon water jugs. And I'm out. All my water jugs are empty. I have 3 that I rotate through and they're all empty. So I need water. I drink a lot of water every day and I've been feeling the last 2 days, it's not that I haven't been drinking water, I've been drinking my well water when that's been out. I just don't enjoy the taste as much. But I've been drinking less because I haven't had that to just go to, and I feel it. I can definitely feel it, and I feel just a little bit more sluggish. I know I need to up my hydration. So I need to go to the grocery store and refill my jugs, which should only be like $5. So I'm not worried about it, but I am a little bit sad that I have to go out to the grocery store. Which brings me to another point. So yes, I haven't gone to the grocery store, and I got some comments about my grocery budget, which in my introduction video, I set at $75 a week. I set that very generous on purpose because I didn't want to feel really discouraged. I decided I was going to do this and started doing this on January 3rd. I didn't do any prep. I didn't really take inventory or stock of everything that I have before deciding I was going to do this. I just kind of dove right in. So that made me feel a little bit nervous, and I didn't want to go into this feeling discouraged from the start that I wouldn't be able to make it through. I wanted to feel like it was a realistic goal for me to accomplish so that I could stay motivated throughout this month. If I try to do it throughout February, there was just going to be no way that I could mentally feel good about doing this if I didn't think that I had some sort of cushion. So I'm also a health coach, so I have conversations around goal setting day in and day out, and I know what works best for me, and that is to set a realistic goal that feels like I can actually accomplish it and that I feel confident in even attempting. So tying my hands behind my back and saying that I could do something, I wasn't going to feel super bought into it, but knowing that I have a cushion and that I have permission to go to the grocery store if I need to pick up a few things that I run out of, feels good to me, and that feels comforting. It's also going to feel like I'm saving money by not spending that $75. So I feel like, you know, girl math, all those kind of jokes that are going around, it feels like I'm like earning $75 every week that I don't go to the grocery store. At least that's what I'm telling my husband. But yeah, it feels good. It feels like an additional win under my belt that I don't have to go to the grocery store. So I'm going to continue with that. The $75 specifically, I know I'm not going to reach that. Even if I do have to go to the grocery store, I don't think I'm going to spend $75. So I guess I could have realistically still set that at like 30 and went with that. I just threw a number out there, and yeah, that's what I'm going with. So maybe even just in my head, I can aim for like 30 or 40 and reset it at that goal. But hopefully I don't have to go at all, other than refilling the water. I did run out, or at least I'm running low on sugar, which is kind of a bummer because I do like randomly finding recipes and being able to make them. I've been thinking about like wanting to make bagels and stuff recently. So I don't know. That's the thing. I won't be able to. So my options are go to the store and get more sugar. Or I try to like be creative and replace the sugar in a recipe with honey because I have honey. Or I was getting really crazy and thinking, what about my corn cob jelly? Replacing that with the sugar. Like a corn cob jelly. I don't know, like baking, maybe it won't work so well. But I thought it might be fun to try some recipes and substitute something else that I have for sugar, like the corn cob jelly. I thought that would be really fun. I don't know if I'm going to try it. Maybe I will. I don't know. Just a thought. Something else I'm thinking of is letting myself go to the grocery store to stock up on the things that I know I'm going to buy. Say I go January and February without going to the grocery store, without stocking up on everything that I run out of. That means that when I go in March, I'm going to be spending a lot of money to restock everything that I ran out of. And I don't really know that I want to do that. I don't know that that's really even the smart way to do it. All the money that I'm saving throughout these 2 months could potentially just, and I know it wouldn't be every single dime, but a lot of the money that I'm saving these 2 months by not going, I'm going to spend in March to like replenish everything, right? Maybe. I don't know. I'm still trying to wrap my head around what I want to see change in myself after going through this pantry challenge. And I think my grocery shopping habits will change a lot, but I'm wondering, do I just go and get sugar, go and get flour, go and get eggs, go and get milk when I run out of those things? Because then I won't have to go without them for a whole month and spend a lot of money getting all of them at once in March on top of everything else that we want to get. So I don't know, I'm just playing around with those ideas. If you have any suggestions or if you have any thoughts on that, go ahead and leave it in the comments. Let me know what you tend to lean towards. If you, in this specific challenge, in this pantry challenge, do you tend to just go out and get the one-off things that you run out of? Or do you try to make it work and wait until your pantry challenge is over to then go replenish it? And do you notice that that's like then a really big bill when your pantry challenge is over? I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. But now I'm just rambling, but I just wanted to share everything that's been like going through my head with this pantry challenge. It's been fun. It's been good. Let me know how your experience with it has been going, and I'll dive into showing you some of the meals that I've been doing this week. I've been watching a lot of other pantry challenge videos on YouTube to get inspiration for recipes. And something that I knew I wanted to do this week for breakfast throughout the week was make baked oatmeal. And a bigger plus was that I could use some of the leftover jam that I had in my refrigerator. So I mixed together all the ingredients with the oats and the rest of the jam that I had and threw that in the oven to let that bake, and pleasantly surprised with how that turned out. Oh, I did throw in some of those pumpkin seeds too that were in the pantry, so felt good to get rid of those. But yeah, it was really good. Brad and I both really enjoyed it. It made for a pretty easy breakfast, but it was also delicious and kept us pretty full throughout the day. So definitely want to add this to my rotation, and I think this is a recipe that I will keep for meal prepping on the weekends and getting ready for the week. Now, while I was at home prepping meals for the day, Brad was in the office eating leftovers from last week in wraps. And I gotta say, girlies, find you a husband who will let his coworkers make fun of him and still record a video just for his wife's silly little YouTube pantry challenge. 10 out of 10, recommend.
Charlie knows he can go to the bathroom.
Meanwhile, on my lunch break, I took the opportunity to get dinner ready. So I had chicken broth, carrots, celery, an onion, and stew meat. So I knew a crock pot roast would be on the menu at some point in this pantry challenge, and it was really sounding good. I wanted to get to those vegetables before they went bad, so I figured why not today? Threw everything in the crock pot and set it, forget it, went on with my day, and we had a delicious meal by the time dinner came around. What was my favorite part of this meal was that we actually threw together a salad for the side as well. We had spinach still, so usually we don't just eat a salad with just spinach alone, so I wasn't sure if my husband would really like it or not, but we had pickled beets and I hard-boiled a few eggs to put on top, and it turned out amazing. We both were like, wow, this was an underrated salad combination, and we might have to do this again. So you'll see it in the next few clips. It turned out really good, and I think that's been my favorite part of this pantry challenge, is that seemingly really simple things are actually turning out really well. And I'm thinking, like, why have I not done this before? Why have I not just thrown together what we have in the fridge to make a meal? I think I've just been used to overcomplicating everything. So the pantry challenge has been nice to kind of take a step back and make it more simplified and find out that the results can still be really good and we can still have a really delicious meal without it having to be so hard and without there having to be so many ingredients. So, bon appetit! I want to take this opportunity to show off my awesome recipe box. Brad got this for me for our 1-year anniversary, since it's a paper anniversary, and I was talking about wanting to keep all of my recipes together. And this bagel recipe was one of the first recipes that I added to my recipe box, and I just had to pull it out. I've really been wanting bagels. Our baked oatmeal is almost gone at this point in the week, so I wanted to make another quick and easy to grab breakfast option for the week, and bagels are a simple thing. So I'm trying out this yeast again, and you could see it got a little bit bubbly, but it's not super foamy. I really struggle with bread making, and that's something that in 2024 I want to work on. It's kind of a goal of mine, just to keep trying new bread recipes and trying to master bread a little bit more. The bagels I seem to do okay, but I'm not kidding. Every other bread recipe I've tried usually is a fail. So I don't know why bagels work, but I wanted to make bagels, so I'm making the dough, and I actually made a pizza dough before I moved on to this bagel dough. I just couldn't record it. I actually had to follow the recipe like to a T from my phone, so I didn't want to stop and try to record things. I just wanted to get in the zone and try to do well with pizza. But you'll see later I pull out the pizza dough and start making that pizza, and I actually don't film any of the rest of the bagel recipe. So if you want to see a full bagel video, comment below and I'll try to make one next time I make bagels. But this is a different dough. This is the pizza dough. I moved on for dinner. I wanted pizza. And instead of, trying to go think of Little Caesars and Jets and all the pizza that I wanted, I thought, you know what, why don't I try to make a pizza dough? And I have some tomato sauce in the fridge, so let's try it. And this pizza, spoiler alert, turns out so good. This just goes back to what I was saying before about things not having to be so complicated, and I can do these things at home, so why am I not doing them more? I think we're going to have to establish weekly pizza nights because this was just too easy and too much fun for such an awesome pizza afterwards. You'll see how it turns out. I think you'll agree with me. Part of why I was so excited about making this pizza is that it seemed like it was written in the stars that we have a pizza night. I mean, I'm running low on flour and sugar and just all of my baking things in general, but I had enough to make pizza dough and the bagel dough. I had mozzarella cheese and mozzarella pearls. I had the tomato sauce that I knew once I opened the jar and used some of it, I was going to be using the rest for a spaghetti recipe later on in the week. So I was happy to open that. And I had this summer sausage from one of our friends who hunts. He makes a summer sausage and he gave it to us last year. So this has been in the freezer for a while. And I remembered we had it, so I pulled it out to throw on the pizza. And then we were actually able to empty out some of the jars from our fridge. We had some roasted red peppers left over, so I threw those onto, you'll see that it's not really that much. It covers maybe like 1 or 2 slices, but still, getting rid of some things and making a delicious meal with them, how can you go wrong? So I'll stop talking now and you can see the rest of this pizza coming together, but it was really good. After enjoying the pizza, I was able to get back to the bagels, so I baked those up, and here's the final product. I feel like these meatballs need some explanation, so before I dive in, those are Brussels sprouts. I know they look gross, but they tasted really good. So we only needed really one more meal this week between the leftovers and random soups that I had pulled out of the freezer. So this was that recipe. I baked up another one of the spaghetti squash that we had and made these meatballs with the Brussels sprouts left over from one of the meals last week. I chopped them up and put them in the meatball mixture, and you really couldn't even taste them. Just another way to use up a vegetable, make sure it doesn't go bad in the fridge, and add some extra nutrition to a meal. So here's that final meal for this week. And here's a little shot of one of the bagels with homemade butter. I made my own butter. It was awesome. And finally, here's that grocery trip I knew was coming. Brad went to the store to fill up the water jugs for me and also picked up some coffee and some waters for him. So that's all. That's it. Have a great week. Thanks for watching.